How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running a big sale right now with a lot of great deals, and I want to highlight the deals under $20. This is for the Planet of the Discount sale. Won't be looking at the PlayStation Plus exclusive discount sale in this video. A lot of you guys I know aren't PS Plus subscribers these days, so just want to keep it pretty easy. We already did deals under 10 and deals under 5 for this sale, but now deals under 20 gives us a little bit more to work with, and we'll leave the links to all of the deals in the description box below. So right off the top, we do have Persona 4 Golden, which is 40% off for $11.99. Persona 4 by many is considered the best Persona game, but really if you want to break down P3 versus P4 versus P5, the Persona fans can go back and forth on each of them, but Persona 4 was really good, and I played Golden on the PS Vita when it initially came out, and it was for a lot of people like a true system seller for the PS Vita, because Persona 4 is just that good. Awesome soundtrack, great cast of characters, and if you're familiar with the Persona style of gameplay, yes, these games are super lengthy, but the Persona games do a pretty good job of diversifying the content, so it feels rather engaging, even if you're sinking, well over 100 hours at times into these games. For $11.99, I think Persona 4 Golden is a pretty solid pickup, and it's not going to get much cheaper than this by the looks of it. I have yet to see it under $10, so $11.99 definitely a good pickup. Next up, we got Devil May Cry 5, the special edition, 60% off for $15.99. Devil May Cry in the news a little bit recently, given that there is going to be a Devil May Cry, I don't know if you want to say an anime series, an animated series. It's coming to Netflix, and I saw the trailer and I was like, man, this looks pretty good. I'll definitely be checking that out, and they announced a lot of stuff on Netflix recently, like they're doing another Cyberpunk Netflix show. Unsure on exactly what that'll be. Probably you can't do like Edge Runners 2, but we'll see what that is. Edge Runners was beloved, and the Devil May Cry anime, hopefully that turns out well, and good to see Capcom still invested into DMC as an IP, given that Devil May Cry 5 at this point came out 5 years ago, back in 2019, so hopefully, we'll hear an announcement of a new Devil May Cry game at some point. But DMC 5 is awesome. Narratively, Devil May Cry has really done nothing for me, but as far as gameplay goes, soundtrack, DMC 5 is phenomenal, and I would strongly recommend it at $16. Great pickup there. Next up, we got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the Gold Edition, 80% off for $19.99. Excellent price for Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Even though these new style of Assassin's Creed games aren't my cup of tea, as I've said ad nauseum at this point, when I see a good deal, I have to give credit to it, given that this deal, $19.99, gets you AC Odyssey, the base game. You'll get the Season Pass with 2 major story arcs, Day 1 bonus mission, and you get another game entirely in Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered. And oh, by the way, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered has AC Liberation, the Vita game, remastered baked into it. AC Liberation was kind of trash, but AC 3 is fairly good, and to get all that content for $19.99, pretty good deal. And Odyssey, by most accounts, most people that I talk to, as far as the newer Assassin's Creed games go, Odyssey seems to be their favorite, so, $19.99 for that, definitely not bad. Next up, want to give a shout to Long Gone Days. This is a game that I absolutely loved, and it is on sale, 30% off for $17.49. Now that is still a hefty price, but a lot of you guys tell me that I need to recommend the lower key titles, the indie games, so to speak, and try out more games. Long Gone Days is one of those games that I doubt a lot of you guys checked out, and I really enjoyed it. Now it is certainly a smaller scale game, but the narrative in this game is incredibly compelling. This war story that sees a lot of twists and turns. It's a turn-based combat system that works fairly well, although it's a little basic. It's not blow away from a technical standpoint. It has a throwback art style, and also will say the soundtrack, incredibly sublime and serene. Like, it's a really relaxing soundtrack, especially like the turn-based battle theme. I think it's quite good. $17.49 for it is pretty good. You can complete the game fairly quickly, but I had a great time with it. Next up, another game that I want to give a shout to, Miasma Chronicles, 45% off for $19.24. Now this game was done by the Bearded Ladies, the same people that brought you Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden. I really liked Miasma Chronicles. Love the setting of the game, and the narrative started off incredibly compelling. I just feel like by the end portion of the game, like the last 20 or so percent of the game, kind of went a little bit off the rails, and it just seemed like there were some pacing issues as far as that's concerned. But overall, for $19.24, if you're into tactics-based games, not a bad deal. It is available on PlayStation Plus Extra, but yeah, I think sub $20 for this game is fairly decent. If you're into your XCOM-style gameplay, you'll have a good time with Miasma Chronicles. Next up, Diablo 3 Eternal Collection, 67% off for $19.79. Great price on Diablo 3. Not a game that I would, say to pick up if you don't have a lot of free time. Like, this game is going to be an investment given all the updates, and Reaper of Souls is in here as well. you're gonna get a lot of replayability for your dollar. But if you are looking for a lot of content, Diablo 3 is a pretty damn good pickup. And hey, these days Diablo 4 has kind of turned it around and has a pretty good reception as well, so be mindful of that if you do want to check out Diablo 4 at some point. Next up, super underrated game here, Sakuna of Rise and Ruin, 50% off for $14.99. This game from a visual standpoint is just incredibly gorgeous, has some platforming action-based gameplay, and a bit of depth to its gameplay as well, where you have the crafting element on top of that, which, you know, usually isn't my cup of tea. But in the case of Sakuna of Rise and Ruin, there were a lot of elements of this game that I really enjoyed. What it reminds me a lot of is the Vanillaware titles. In terms of presentation, I just think it looks fantastic. Has a different style than the Vanillaware games for sure, but it reminds me like the heart of a Vanillaware game where it just has a lot of soul to it. Sakuna of Rise and Ruin, again, this is on sale 50% off for $14.99. Next up, we got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, the Cross-Gen Deluxe Bundle. This was available on PlayStation Plus not too long ago. It was a PS Plus Essential title, so again, a lot of you guys might have it in your library that way. If you don't, getting this Deluxe Edition for $17.49 is quite good. This includes some bonus items as well, the Ripper Skate from Powell Peralta, unique retro outfits for Tony Hawk, Steve Caballero, and Rodney Mullen, and unique retro content for the Create a Skater mode. Rumbling has it that Tony Hawk's in the works with Activision to put out another title. I don't know if it would be a remake or a entirely new game, but for now, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, $17.49, great price there. Next up, we have Ghostwire Tokyo, 75% off for $14.99. Unfortunately, you know, Tango went through that, you know, tumultuous time earlier this year, and while Krafton did pick up Tango as a studio, they did not pick up the Ghostwire Tokyo nor the Evil Within IP, so that's a little bit of a bummer. Ghostwire Tokyo, I don't think ever was gonna get a sequel. I really did enjoy the game. It's more of an action game than it is a horror game. I would say more of an action game with horror elements, but the narrative starts off incredibly compelling, and then by the end, I just don't think it's incredibly satisfying as far as the conclusion goes, but I still overall enjoyed the game. Sound design is great, visuals are fantastic, and overall an enjoyable game with the different elemental abilities and whatnot. If you have yet to pick up Ghostwire Tokyo, I think for $14.99, this is a damn good deal, so definitely check that out. Next up, we have Sword and Fairy Together Forever, 50% off for $19.99. You save an additional 10% if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber. Sword and Fairy isn't one of those RPG franchises that gets a lot of traction. However, Sword and Fairy Together Forever, I believe, is the 7th entry into the series. They just dropped the number value, I believe, to get newer audiences into the game. You know, visually, this game is phenomenal. Gameplay is fairly simplistic, but this is an incredibly technically impressive game, and you have a pretty enjoyable real-time combat system. $19.99. A pretty decent deal there. Very much narrative focused on that game, so keep that in mind. Tales of Arise, 63% off for $14.79. Loved Tales of Arise. Thought it was a great game. You know, the cast of characters certainly I don't think is as strong as a Tales of Abyss, as a Tales of Vesperia, but overall the two main characters helming the story I still thought were fairly likable, and the combat is great. The visuals are excellent, and definitely for the Tales of series, a little bit of a step up, but $14.79 for that. Great pickup there. Next up, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, 70% off for $11.99. It is a great Metroidvania action title, has a little bit of challenge, great soundtrack as well for $11.99. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is a great pickup, definitely check that out. Next up, we have Eternights, 60% off for $11.99. Now, I certainly would not recommend this game to everyone. Eternights is one of those games that you gotta be into some cheesy anime dialogue, and I've seen the comparisons to Persona, obviously far different than Persona. It's a dungeon crawling action title with dating sim elements, but the dating, like the interactions between the characters is pretty comical, but that's almost the charm of the game. 60% off for $11.99, I think is a decent pickup. Lastly, Scarlet Nexus Deluxe Edition, 82% off for $14.39. Great deal for Scarlet Nexus, one of the most underrated JRPGs in my opinion. I just think that this game deserves a sequel. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. The game didn't blow it away commercially, and we're already 3 years removed from the release of the game, which is wild to think about, but a cool setting and a cool gameplay design as well. You have 2 playable main characters, and if you really want to get the whole picture of the story, you should play through the game twice as each of them, but a really enjoyable game, and if you do both playthroughs, you're getting like 50 hours of content. So that's quite good. $14.39 for Scarlet Nexus, great pickup there. But that's going to do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals across the board, under $20. Links to everything in the description box below. And as always, thank you for watching. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.